See, I got loyalty, got royalty inside
This is
my
why
DNA.
I say that hip-hop is done.
Same as it once was. This is NBA Live. Here, you can be the one beautiful thing. So do you want to be the one or the one who gets left behind? You have the ability to dominate on both ends of the court. It's all in your hands now. But remember this, the path to being the greatest, being where every real player developed their love for the game, where they paid their dues, earned their reps, and rode their own wave. From pickup games at the Rucker, to Pro-Am games at the Drew, to the bright lights of the NBA. The paths to greatness are limitless. And trust me, this game ain't the same. Are you ready to be the one?
The LA Lakers. 4 a.m. I'm just getting started. For my birthday, I threw me a surprise party. Reminiscing about the playing the first quarter. My life changed when I had my first daughter. Got my first quarter flipping $50. You looking at the bills, asking you for half. Cut from a different cloth. Take pride in results.
Let's start creating your look. If you haven't already done so, download the Game Face HD app. Scan yourself and get your face in it. Your hairstyle says a lot about your look. Let's choose yours.
If it wasn't for the struggle, then I wouldn't be me. Call me Deuce or Dose, anything but broke. Got my aim from the scope, got the game by the throat.
Okay, you popped up on me by surprise. You see, I never took you for the popping type. It's 4 a.m., so please believe the hype. Hit the lights, I'm way over top. Pop it, flick it, drop a pin, send a location. I'ma pull up in that spaceship. Drop off a
beard, scruff, or clean shaven, your path to facial hair greatness starts here. Now it's time to decide what kind of player you want to be. First, let's choose your player type. Now, let's define your style of play. This will determine the impact you have on the court. Now, it's time to choose your player's height and weight. Every choice you make here will affect your player's physical capabilities, both good and bad. So choose wisely before you lock in.
It's 4 a.m., so please believe the hype. Hit the lights, I'm way over top. Pop it, flick it, drop a pin, send a location. I'ma pull up in that spaceship. Drop off a I'ma you 4 a.m., see if you make it.
TT on the crew neck, ooh, on the killer rubber spread units. Ooh, they talking chillin', watching Netflix. Ooh, I used to watch bootlegs. Ooh, I'm on my wave like a do-rag. Ooh, I see you bootin' where your crew at. Ooh, they talking for the talk. Ooh, I hope you got it, plenty. Yeah. Really, representing we the squad, really. Check, got Nelly, get it. I used to get it for a living. Got me a job selling records. Had to do a jeweler for a record. Might buy a charm with the extra.
Okay, you popped up on me by surprise. You see, I never took you for the popping type. It's 4 a.m., so please believe the hype. Hit the lights, I'm way over top. Pop it, flick it, drop a pin, send a location. I'ma pull up in that spaceship. Drop off a I'ma do 4 a.m., see if you make it.
I just wanna rollie with a dapper ranch. I already got some designer to hold on my pants. I just want some ice on my wrist.
Like millions of other kids, you dreamed of one day being in the NBA. You wanted to be a star, and someday to rise above and become the greatest to ever play. You dreamed of being the one. But the road to stardom is never easy. There are obstacles, injuries, and disappointments. Adversity is universal. It can happen to anyone at any time. And one day, it happened to you. You went from being a guaranteed lottery pick to a kid who may never even play college ball again.
Now, look, it's always bad to hear about injuries, especially to college kids, of course.
Yeah.
But Stephen A. Smith, this one is particularly disheartening because we are 2 weeks into the season and one of the top NBA prospects in the country goes down potentially with a season-ending injury, a knee injury. That's a killer.
I couldn't agree more. When I heard he was carried off the floor today, all you can do is find yourself hoping that he'll make it back. That's the bottom line. But my heart goes out to him because I didn't expect this. This is a devastating injury. It's never good to have something like this happen to you.
The team doctor broke the news. Torn ACL, sprained MCL, and a torn meniscus. Surgery was scheduled, but your game will likely never be the same. At the 2016 NBA draft, your name is still mentioned. Not as a prospect, but as a cautionary tale.
Now, there's another huge story in this year's draft. A record number of underclassmen, 30 of them, talking about the ones who are genuinely one-and-dones, the guys you know are going to be lottery picks. I mean the rest of them. They're not sure shots. You're not sure they're going to be lottery picks. Don't just use the college system for a year thinking you're going to bounce. It doesn't work like that. If you don't have the talent, it doesn't work. You got to be cultivated in the system.
Please. There you go again with your blanket generalizations. You know how you are, oh, Max. The woe is me. Oh, my Lord. I can't take it. I just can't take it. It's a case-by-case basis. You can't just blanketly decide this should not be one-and-dones or this should be one-and-dones. You got to go on a case-by-case basis. Some dudes deserve to be one-and-dones. Some people don't. It's on a case-by-case basis.
And that is my point. Thank you for making it for me. Every kid thinks they're the exception to the rule. And members of the media like, Stephen A. Smith, are encouraging these kids to come out early.
Look, Max, bottom line is this. You got to take this into consideration. You had two dudes. They were called the Height brothers. Now, you had Nick Howard. This kid had a lot of promise. What does he do? He goes to college. Very uneventful first year, no doubt. The second year, he was pretty good. Here's the problem. The NBA, it's not about pretty good. You need to be great on the collegiate level, on the prep level, in summer leagues and what have you, in order for you to get the stature that you deserve. That's the bottom line. Pretty good ain't good enough to be that stud NBA.
That's exactly my point.
Let me finish. There's another example. I did say the Height brothers. I wasn't talking about one individual. I was talking about two. What happens? One and done in a different way. 1 year, one ACL injury later, and look where he's at now. His future is clearly uncertain. So you got to take advantage of that opportunity because you never know when an injury is going to cost you everything.
Stephen A., listen to yourself. Let's listen to yourself for a second. You give one argument for why a kid should come out early, a one-and-done situation. I can give you 30 arguments this morning alone why they should stay in school. And now you have to wonder what a kid like Nick Howard, who has given up his college eligibility, does next. What does he do next?
First of all, don't sweat the technique. The argument, or one argument, as long as it's strong enough, that's all that matters. That's number one. Number two, the Height brothers was something special. What they really, really need to do. I'm going to tell you what they need to do, Max. They need to get back to playing together. My sources are telling me the ACL injury has been completely healed. So go on a pro-am circuit. Go in summer leagues. Do what you got to do to get back on the court together to remind everybody of what you once were. Because once you pull that off, the sky's the limit. That's what they need to do. Get back to playing ball together, because when people see what you can do as one, the other arguments don't really matter. Like I said, Don't sweat the technique.
I got loyalty, got royalty inside my DNA. Quarter piece, got war and peace inside my DNA. I got power, poison, pain, and joy inside my DNA. I got hustle, though, ambition, flow inside my DNA. I was born like this and born like this, immaculate conception. I transform like this, perform like this, which yells you a new weapon. I don't contemplate, I meditate, then off your head. This that put the kids to bed. This that I got realness. I just killed this cause it's in my DNA. I got millions, I got riches building in my DNA. I got dark, I got evil that rot inside my DNA. I got off, I got trouble, all that inside your DNA. Daddy probably snitch, heritage inside your DNA. Backbone don't exist, burn on side a jellyfish I gauge. See my pedigree, most definitely don't tolerate the front. Like been through, probably offend you. This is Paula's oldest son. I know conviction burners, boosters, ballers, dead, redemption scholars, fathers, kids and I wish I was fed forgiveness. Yeah. Soldier's DNA, born inside the beast. My expertise checked out in second grade. At 29, I've done so well, hit cartwheel in my estate, and I'm gon' shine like I'm supposed to. Antisocial extrovert, and excellent meaning extra work, and absentness you hurt, and passiveness never struck my nerve, and that's a riff gonna plead this case. The reason my power's here on earth, salute the truth from the prophecy. I got royalty inside
This is
my
why
DNA.
I say that hip-hop has done more damage to young African Americans than racism in recent years.
I live about my DNA. This is my heritage, all I'm inheriting. Money and power, the maker emeritus. Tell me something, you can't tell me nothing. I'd rather than to listen to you. My DNA not for imitation. Your DNA an abomination. This where you in the matrix, dodging bullets, reaping what you're sowing, stacking up the footage, living on the go and sleeping in the villa, sipping from a Grammy, walking in the building, diamond in the ceiling, marble on the floors, beaches out the window, peeking out the window, baby in the pool, Godfather goes, only Lord knows, I've been going hammer, dodging paparazzi, through the cameras, eat it for $4, Brock wearing sandals, yoga on the Monday, stretching to November, watching all the snakes, curving all the fakes, phone never own, I don't conversate, I don't compromise, I just penetrate, money, these are the breaks, these are the times, level number 9, look up in the sky, tennis on the way, sinners on the way, I got winners on the way, you ain't
This is New York City, the mecca of basketball. The original Rucker League began here in 1947. 9 years later, the tournament found a permanent home uptown at PS 156 Playground. Those early Rucker days showcased talents like Lou Alcindor, Wilt the Stilt, and Earl the Pearl. It's also where Julius Erving became the Doctor. In 1974, the park was respectfully renamed Holcomb Rucker Park in honor of the tournament founder. Now, many have influenced the growth of the Rucker since, but none more heavily than the late great Greg Marius, founder of the EBC. Many would argue that the Ruck is the birthplace of true street ball and the crossover dribble. Considering New York City's penchant for flashy guard play, there are few who can challenge that. After the legendary exploits of Rucker alumni like Rod Strickland, Rafer Alston, and Kyrie Irving, it goes without saying that getting crossed up or banged on can happen. play of the game.
Talking like me, talk. Woke up, son, sounding like me, talk. Woke up, son, talking like me, talk. Woke up, son, sounding like me. I woke up, son, sounding like me. Woke up, son, talking like me. Woke up, son, sounding like me. Woke up, son, talking like me. Oh, I think they like me. Yeah, they like me. Diamonds on me, ice cream. That's lightly. Spitely. Diamonds on me, bite. I heard these wanna fight me. Meet me at my next show, but you better bring a pipe. Yeah, we ain't fighting. I think she like me, exciting. So exciting. Benny cool, I'm riding with a. I just spent 100 on my watch piece. I done fell in love with it. She just wanna for my clouds. I'm off the I crashed the all. I just spent 200 on his all. Woke up, son, talking like me, talk. Woke up, son, sounding like me, talk. Woke up, son, talking like me, talk. Woke up, son, sounding like me, talk. I woke up, son, sounding like me. Woke up, son, talking like me. Woke up, son, sounding like me. Woke up, son, talking like me.
Oh, I think they like me. Yup, in my white tee. Yo, no, baby. So much, some vice. Dion don't like me, but I just like me. All of y'all toy they parties don't invite me. That you wifey, she's so trifling. I've been getting money, so don't nothing really excite me. Cardi 6 and a 4 of the right. Asking for some more, like the Sprite clean. Yeah, that's that dirty. That's that dirty. That girl all up in my face like she ain't try to swerve me. These boys all up in my lane, I swear they keep on merging. No, I cannot see a lane cause my Rolls Royce got curtains.
Beautiful Venice Beach. A place like no other, fit with a cast of characters and all the sun, sand, and shoreline you can handle. But Venice Beach basketball brings a completely different kind of beauty to the beach. A beauty made of long-range jumpers, meta-world peace-level defense, and some of the best athletic ability in the West. And it ain't news. Since the heyday of the OG Ray Lewis dropping 50 on Michael Cooper in the 80s. Since Freedom Williams put up 75 in a college game. Since Ron Beals created the trend of street ball legends pushing the pros to their very limits under the scorching California sunshine. Long before baggy shorts and the elbow sleeve became the universal uniform of choice, every guard at Venice has been a menace. And the rule here is, you reach, we teach. Teach your defense the definition of pressure, then big men, pack a lunch. It's gonna be a long day down there in the paint. Out here, the days are long and the handles are strong. Are you ready to get busy on the beach? Venice. play of the game.
I wrote this song for the moment that I'm on, when I won't have to say the words, cause my fans just sing along. Kinda crazy, we work hard just to be lazy. I 8 miles just to be shady, now I'm full. Got that magic like McGrady, I won't have to go on. Women wanna, I'm anemic so I gotta eat steak. Move, get out my way, like I'm ludicrous. Talking about how they get with their computer fish. What the you want, I get to do. I had a dream and a scheme where I put my mom in a penthouse. Need that view, got a whole team, yeah, they need that too. Need them, Majin Buu, quit my job, yeah, Sue. I suggest you take a hike if you can't see all the I'm amounting to. I'm on top, rain check y'all like I'm out of stock. When your drops, that is not the case. My drops like an outer box. I'm Frodo to these bros, Waldo to these. So if you think you getting chose, I'ma have to let you know you will not find me. When I was young, they told me don't look to the sun. You'll go blind, or maybe they were scared I'd find out I could run. Got oxygen in my lungs in a 3-point stance. So when they you will not find me. When my album drops.
Gray skies over Puget Sound, and plenty of umbrellas on sale in Seattle. Home to the Crossover League, a place where jump shots fall from the indoor sky wet like the rains of Pacific Northwest folklore. Summer in the city ain't been the same since Quincy Jones soundtrack Jamal's first summer here. Broken ankles, 40-point outbursts as regular as the sunrise, and a foundation that makes the game far more important for everyone in the gym. A place where you can see Zach LaVine walking amongst the clouds with ease, where you can see Isaiah Thomas finding his fourth quarter mojo, cooking at 90 degrees. A place where undersized dunk champs like Nate Robinson first flew through the Summer League trees. Yeah, it can get a little bit gray outside, but in the gym at Seattle Pacific University, the matchups and highlights are considered some of the most colorful in the world of summertime ball. Fluid, yet rough and tumble, just like the city it calls home. It's deeper than just a game here. Everybody wins. Everybody contributes. A real team effort for the ages. Seattle.